Hello. Hi friends, how are you all doing? Happy Tuesday, here we are as always. And we'll start out with our intention here. I always put the intention out on Sunday, so take a peek at it a little bit before we get here on Tuesdays if you'd like. I think that just gives you time to kind of mold with it yourself a little bit. Just see what happens with the intention. This week, revolution allows space for inventive creation. Revolution allows space for inventive creation. We've had some really big intentions the last few weeks, and I like it. It's really kind of cool. So this week, lots of Uranus influences here. So you're going to see me reaching over to the side. My regular mouse decided to die right before we started doing this, or not work, so Uranian thing, surprises, right? Things happening all of a sudden there. So, revolution allows space for inventive creation. The definition of revolution, other than something revolving around something or to, rotate around it, sudden, radical, or fundamental, or complete change. So, going from one thing to the next. Big changes, quick changes, swift changes. Revolting, revolution, rebellion, these are Uranian type words, and Uranus is definitely active in the sky. We've been talking a lot about Uranus lately, haven't we? Couple aspects to Uranus that we have this week that are definitely flavoring our intention that we have. As always, the intention comes from what's going on around us in the sky. The aspects, the planetary placements, how they are or are not interacting with each other. And then we come up with a collective umbrella term, or phrase is better word than term, but so we have this phrase that we can all share and collectively use it together while personally seeing how it works for you. So started off this week with Mercury moving into the sign of Aquarius. Pluto sitting at 0 of Aquarius, so that means that Mercury came into a conjunction with Pluto as soon as it came into the sign of Aquarius. So this aspect, it's on the going out end, but it's a precursor to everything else that we have this week. So it's still important to talk about. But let's say like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even maybe today, and possibly a little bit tomorrow, you might be feeling a little bit of the effects of Mercury and Pluto. So when Mercury gets together with Pluto, the planet of our mind, our thoughts, our communication, right? All those things that are up here, those are the Mercury type things, along with the tools and the resources and things that we work with, comes into contact with the planet of depth, the planet of the subconscious and the underworld, the things that come up from below, the things that bubble up. So maybe there's something that has come up for you that has either been on the back burner, or something that has been ignored, or something that you tried to maybe act like it wasn't. Maybe you kind of either tried to pretend like it wasn't there and ignore it, or you just weren't giving it its full attention. Mercury and Pluto is going to bring that around and put it right in your face in a perhaps explosive type way. So now that Mercury is in the sign of Aquarius, it's in the sign where the new moon's going to be later on this week. And as Mercury comes into contact with Pluto, it's going to reach really the depths of our subconscious mind, honestly. It's the things that are so deep within us that maybe we don't even realize they're there. The subconscious programmings, the conditionings that that have become a part of our lives and a part of our processes. A lot, when we start talking about the subconscious mind, we start thinking about maybe like memories and things that we have held on to, maybe perhaps things that we've repressed down things a little bit in a certain way. All of these things are going to start to kind of bubble to the surface. They can do so in an explosive way, or if we are very, very mindful and very, very maybe even a little delicate about it, and we can have some intense healing here within this. And I find it interesting that we have this aspect that's came in just as the moon is moving from like that third quarter phase into the balsamic moon phase. So the moon is darkening, losing its light, kind of having this turning away. So there's this this feeling of leaving things behind or letting go, turning away, and turning towards letting go of things to bring in a healing of some kind. So with Mercury and Pluto coming together, it makes me feel like the two want us to bring things forward and let those things bubble up, so that way we can move forward in a with the things that we need to let go of, and we can start to heal from those things that have kind of bubbled up in a way, however that plays out for you. So that one, like I said, is kind of starting to fade away, but super intense energy over this weekend. So if you felt any of that intensity over the weekend, some nervousness, some anxiety, some intense feelings or thoughts, communications, intense words, if there are any sort of like explosive communications or really, really deep communications, that can go one of two ways, right? Those are Mercury, Pluto type things. Today, Mars sextiling Neptune. So this is not one of our main player aspects of this week, but it's just a little bit of a nuance that brings it brings in a little bit of hope, and it brings in a little bit of dreaminess. So Mars, action, motivation, drive. Neptune, creativity, creative energy, connecting us with otherworldly energies, and in a way can connect us to spiritual energies. Not only spiritual energies, but it can give us that divine connection by connecting us, moving us away from something and moving us towards something. You've heard me talk about that quite a bit. So this Mars-Neptune aspect, and I find that it's neat that we can connect to this energy here if you're during the live meditation, because this aspect is exact on Tuesday when we're doing the live meditation. It just brings in this little nudge, this little sextile, this little like flowy aspect of being able to connect our actions and our movements and what we do with something a little bit creative, something a little subtle catalyst that gives us like some hope or some dreams or a little like creative insight to be able to move in a direction. It might be a little bit of an intuitive insight. It might just be a feeling. This is definitely the more subtle aspect that we have this week. So it might not be playing out super duper huge, but it's just a nice little, like I said, it's just a nice little nuance that just gives us this little flair of connecting to something greater. Neptune, as it connects us to the divine energy that is around all of us, it can bring forward like thoughts of purpose, and Mars with like the drive and the motivation also has a sense of like dutiful purpose, right? But then Neptune so Mars is more like a dutiful purpose, especially being in the sign of Capricorn, where Neptune is more of like a divine purpose. So it's more like soul purpose, or like a bigger, wider picture type purpose, if that makes sense. So we have a little bit of both. You have that like that subtle like Neptunian kind of pulled back, like being able to see more and being able to experience and visualize more, and then Mars, which makes us be able to like go forward and do more. So just a nice little flair that we have to the energy this week. And then we have a couple Uranian aspects here, right before and coming into the new moon that we have on Friday. New moon in the sign of Aquarius on Friday. So Venus trining Uranus and the Sun squaring Uranus. So Venus trining Uranus comes through, it's in effect right now, but it comes through exact on Wednesday. this is the more positive of the two aspects because it's a trine. It's abundant, it's flowy, and it's connecting. It's makes the two planets want to work together in a certain way, bringing their own message together and melding the two of them. So when I think of Venus trining Uranus, I think of Venusian breakthroughs of all different kinds. Venusian breakthroughs can be anything to deal with love and relationships. It can deal with friendships. It can deal with aesthetics that are around us and leveling, making things level and copacetic in a certain fashion. It can be about this intense need to bring peace and tranquility and unity of some kind, and to marry two things together. But it does so in a very, very intense type of way. It's not this flowy way that we get like typically with just Venus on its own, or, like the Neptunian type flare that we were just talking about. It's this intense initiating desire to bring some sort of Venusian fashion. So whether it's bringing through breakthroughs in your own personal relationships, or wanting to bring a breakthrough in your own, maybe your own personal style and your own Venusian flares that you have. Perhaps it's about communicating with a friend, or, Venus often can deal with any sort of woman or feminine presence within our life. Perhaps it has to do more maternally and more ancestral, with like the moon representing the mother or feminine energy that is within our life somehow. But this intense desire to break through, break away, have some sort of breakthrough and some sort of like big aha moment. And coming off of Mercury conjoining Pluto, where Mercury and Pluto could be like bringing all of this stuff up and bringing all this stuff forward, then we have this like huge push to individuate from that somehow and to move forward in some sort of aspect in a very quick Uranian type way. Uranus is a inventive planet that brings quick, sudden changes. It brings quick, fast enlightenment and perspective changes, sometimes even like paradigm type changes, knowledge and information coming through very, very quickly. So there could be some sort of Venusian changes that are happening quite quickly. And within our intention this week, revolution allows space for inventive creation. Venus wants us to be creative, okay? Venus wants to find a way to bring the Venusian desires in a creative way. So whatever that means for you, whether it's bringing peace and tranquility and finding creative ways to do that, whether it's, like something that we enjoy throughout the day and trying to bring something different in that. It can be something as simple as like the cup of coffee that you enjoy in the morning, and that is your Venusian joy of the first part of your day. It could be something as big as having a big breakthrough within your personal love life or relationship, or it could be, if you're somebody that is not currently in a relationship or was not in a relationship, maybe there's some sort of like breakthrough in that somehow. But all of these Venusian breakthroughs are very, very intense and very, very, very quick, very sudden. But the fact that it's a trine between them tells me that the two planets want to work together and they want to take their own purposes. So Uranus, that wants to break free from the mold, do something slightly different, maybe go against the grain, and Venus, that wants to bring the balance, the peace, and the harmony together, and they want to mash the two. They want to bring them together. So how can we take this inventive, sudden change energy to bring some sort of peace within our life, some sort of tranquility within? What is it that you have within your desire body right now? What is it that your body and your soul and your mind like really intensely desires to bring forward, those type of things. Where is the need for peace in your life right now? Where do you feel that there's this like, oh my gosh, I just need to be able to relax? Because maybe you feel like you've been under that thumb. Uranus often has that feeling of like pressure building over us, and we kind of feel like we're under the thumb, and then we have to like break away from that being underneath that type of situation. So lots of movement energy, lots of energy of revolting and trying to move away from something and moving towards something, and maybe pretty quickly. Sun squaring Uranus. This one comes through exact on Thursday. So Venus and Uranus on Wednesday, Sun and Uranus on Thursday, new moon on Friday. Sun and Uranus, this one is a little bit more scratchy. So when I said breakthroughs for the trine between Venus and Uranus, this is more like, feels more like break away or desire to move away from something. So like where like the breakthrough part makes me feel like something we've been working towards, and like we're gonna like finally get through that thing. The Sun squaring Uranus is more like break away. I'm gonna pull away from this thing rather than like breaking through the barrier type of thing. I'm gonna pull away from the barrier, move towards something else. If that, hopefully that makes sense. So Sun squaring Uranus, it feels like this need for freedom, this need for autonomy, and like I said, this desire to break away from something. It makes us want to do something or move in a direction that's a little bit different from the status quo. And, you know, this might just give us the confidence and the courage to bring forward what Venus and Uranus are trying to work through. And all of this coming through just as the, you know, just before the new moon. The Uranus aspects are definitely still going to be in play within the new moon. Mercury and Pluto separated, kind of moving past that. Mars and Neptune kind of moving past that. But the Venus trining Uranus and the Sun squaring Uranus, these are definitely going to be a part of the next lunar cycle. You know, and before we get into talking about the new moon itself, you know, when we have the exact aspects with Venus and Uranus and the Sun in Uranus, the moon will still be in Capricorn on Wednesday, and the full moon is in the sign of Aquarius. So we're still definitely Wednesday and Thursday, at least the first part of Thursday, as this aspect is coming through. We're not quite to the new moon energy and quite to the new moon phase yet. We're still within, and the lines are kind of grayed here as far as like the mundane collective energy that is around all of us. It's a little bit more specific within a birth chart when you have like a snapshot, but within moving time, you know, it's not like a clear moment from like, we're in the third quarter moon, now we're in the balsamic moon, now we're in the new moon. We have degree ranges that we go by, but I don't see it as like it's not like walking through a door or like you turn the calendar page or anything like that. So, you know, as these Uranian aspects are coming through, we talked about healing with Mercury and Pluto coming through. These aspects are coming through before the new moon becomes exact. So they're coming through within that balsamic moon phase, which is very much about taking what we've kind of moved away from and like what we're letting go and making space for healing. So think of the dark moon. Think of the space that allows us, the space of almost a space of emptiness, a place that allows us to have a space to fill back up again. So it definitely feels like there's a lot of space for healing this week, on lots of different levels, and that, you know, that can be a big major part of your life, or you know, like a big like one-on-one you and another person type situation. Or it could be something that is seemingly smaller, which may still be a huge thing to you, like a change in your diet, maybe. You know, maybe you're gonna break away from an addiction to sugar or something like that, or to caffeine, or whatever it may be. It could be anything else too. Maybe it's that you're going to break away from getting up late for your alarm in the morning. Maybe you're going to stop hitting that snooze too many times and you're going to start getting to work on time. Maybe that's what you're breaking away from, is like that stress of the morning of being rushed all the time. It can happen on many different levels for many different people, so I don't want people to feel like just because you haven't had like some big, huge, like, you know, breaking the glass ceiling breakthrough thing doesn't mean that it's not playing out for you. And just because somebody else's breakthrough is, I don't know, seemingly bigger than yours doesn't make yours any smaller either, in my opinion. So, side note there. But the healing, there is definitely lots of space for breaking away from certain things that no longer serve us and having breakthroughs in other things that can serve us better than they serve us now, with Venus and Uranus coming through. So there's already, if with Venus involved, there's already some sort of attachment, there's already this desire, there's already this level of attraction to the thing somehow. So we can intensify that. Uranus definitely intensifies things. Excuse me. So as all of this comes through and comes exact, then we come into the new moon at 20 degrees of Aquarius on Friday at 6 p.m. Friday. So all of this, first of all, if you are a modern astrologer, you are going to say that Uranus rules Aquarius. I don't necessarily put rulership to the modern planets just because I see how systematic all the schemes are for the rulerships, and I don't know, I don't find the need to, I still use the outer planets, but I don't feel a need to place them in the rulership scheme. It seems unnecessary to me. So I don't necessarily say that, but there's definitely some correlations between the way that Uranus acts and the way that the sign of Aquarius can act or can portray itself within the archetype at times. So new moon in the sign of Aquarius at 20 degrees of Aquarius, 40 minutes, in this Saturn air sign. So this place of intellectual structures, frameworks, often collective because of the intellectual level of it, because of the level that it deals with our mind here. So with the new moon being in this place of Saturn, this intellectual air sign that is very, very much black and white. Both Capricorn and Aquarius can be very much black and white. Aquarius sometimes says that it's in the gray area, but then it finds itself kind of back in that one or the other. And that's because it's ruled by Saturn. So Aquarius is a sign that is often looking to move towards some sort of ideal. Whether that ideal really is the true ideal or not, that is a whole nother story. But that is the name of the game for Aquarius, is moving towards some sort of ideal, often breaking free from some sort of patterns or breaking free from some sort of pattern that has developed to get back towards something else that is like the ideal, okay? So Saturn is very, sorry, not Saturn, Aquarius is very idealistic and very thought and process oriented at the same time. So if we have a new moon, a new beginning in this place where our mind wants to break free from something in a way, and then we have all of these aspects that are telling us to break free or break through the mold somehow, there is lots of this, like, there is lots of mental capacity to move towards something within this next lunar cycle that we have that starts here on Friday. Lots of potential for healing, to make space for creating something else. So this is where our intention comes. Our intention really is quite collective of the aspects and the new moon that we have. So revolution allows space for inventive creation. Saturn, oh my goodness, I keep saying Saturn every time. I mean to say Aquarius, sorry. Aquarius, I lost my words. Sorry. Anyways, must not have been super important. So yes, lots of room for healing. And when we break away from something and we start to have some sort of letting go and healing, all it does is make space for something else. And it's going to be that space that's made is going to be replaced with something. So we might as well work on replacing it with some sort of inventive creation. We might as well use this Uranian energy that is around us and think of something that maybe maybe something that we don't normally or historically, not normally, because now going forward we do, but maybe historically we haven't necessarily had the courage to, or the stamina, or whatever it is, to do that thing or move in that direction. Now maybe we have the courage or the drive or the motivation or the framework to go forward and to do that thing or move into that direction. Aquarius, I almost did it again. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, but as I said, it's also an air sign, so it's also very like intangible. Okay, it's something that we can't. It's of the mind. It's stuff that we can't necessarily grab onto. And when you have things that like air that you can't grab onto, and they're more fluid and they're more flowing. So this like ability to create and to kind of mold something and to change the form of it within Aquarius, that we have that quality of air, of being able to, air fits to, like, air conforms to whatever container that it's being held into, not, and spills out around it. It's not that like the container has to necessarily like fit the air, right? It's like the air moves around the container in the space that it's in, rather than like the space having to conform to air. Like that would be like having like the earth signs, where they're much more stable and have much more solid form to them. So yeah, lots of fun, neat energy of like moving into something new and going into change mode, man. For some people, there's going to be some serious changes to be had. And anytime we have Uranus, there's always a possibility of like some recklessness of, maybe like having the ability to do too much. So like, that courage that we're talking about, and like having the courage to go through and do that thing. Sometimes it can be like having too much courage before we think about it. So Uranus is involved. Mindfulness and thinking and processing is always important, especially if there's high emotions involved or anything like that. Which within the balsamic moon, there's lots of emotions because there's lots of healing going on here. So, yeah, I'm going to catch up on the comments here really quick before we move forward. Hi, everybody saying hi in the comments. Swift changes, explosive waves, intense healings. Hey, Tom, good to see you. Healing energy. Feeling things calming and healing for sure. Physical healing for me and my dad, open to some more healing however it comes. Yes. We have a couple people that join us every week that could use some very loving healing energy. So maybe we'll make a little bit of space for that. Melissa, her dad has been ill, has been in and out of the hospital. We've had comments about that. And another one of our participants that is here with us all the time is having some health issues herself too. So Make a little space for that, okay? Space, healing space for all of us here at the end of our meditation. You know, I really, I don't always have something super super planned for our meditation. Sometimes it's a little bit more free-flowing than others, and today it's super free-flowing. I don't have much like physically or like pre-planned. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm just being honest. I think that this is energy that, and the energy that is around us is not something to be forced. It's something that has enough energy and enough stamina and a lot of push behind it to where we can just kind of like get in the car and go for the ride with it. And like put your seatbelt on because it's time to go. So it feels more like energy that you just like need to flow with. I know Uranus is like pushing against the grain, but Uranus will show us where the change needs to happen. You know, anytime you have Uranus involved, you have that quick thinking enlightenment quality to it. So information can come in about different things very, very quickly. Downloads or like other perspectives. I don't know, these aspects that we have this week, I'm just going to be honest, they are just hitting straight on in my life, and I've had some just like real aha moments, that type of thing, like light bulb going on, going off. So just going for a ride here, and yeah. Melissa, I did not pull a card. No, I did not. I'm glad to hear that your dad is doing well and doing better. I mean, I have my cards. I could still pull one, even though I didn't. Should we do it? Should we do it that way? I don't know. They're next to me. Couple cards out from a personal reading that I had done, but let's just see what happens, huh? Since somebody mentioned it, I don't pull a card every week. I just do it when it feels like the time to. So let's see what happens here. And often, what happens when I'm pulling my cards is, if you just saw that, my cards often will literally jump out of my deck. Either they pop out on me or they get stuck. So here we are, very, very fitting. Ten of Swords. So you see that we have the lizard here, because my cards are cute and they all have these little animals on them. You see the figure here that has the 10 swords that are holding him down. And he looks like he's practically dead, right? He has had so much thrown at him that he can't go on like this. He can't go forward like this, right? So something has to change. Something has to move forward. He's going to take some action. And what comes up next? I had two cards jump out at the same time. The Queen of Cups. The Queen of the high feminine energy of emotion, of water, cups. So like this just makes sense here to me for like, and I just pulled it in front of you, like you can't make this stuff up, it just happens. So wherever you're feeling stuck, wherever you're feeling like you just can't take it anymore, Uranus and Venus are here to help you out. They're here to help you have some sort of revolution, some sort of radical sudden change, some sort of fundamental change that is going to take you from the Ten of Swords to the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I like that. Mary drew the Ten of Swords yesterday, and then the Empress card. Yeah, you know, and that is a similar energy here. It's that tapping, it's like, the 10 is the highest, okay? Also, 10 is the 1 plus the 0 as well. So there's this completion level within the 10 here. It's we're done with this. We're moving away from this. And then the Empress card there, moving to that high feminine energy. Same thing here. Look at our Queen of Cups here. Look how beautiful she is. And she's holding her cup up high, and she's admiring what she has. You know, this right here makes me think of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we have coming up in April. It's not going to be huge, like fireworks and light bulbs going off for absolutely everybody, but it's going to be for a lot of people, especially if Taurus is important in your chart somewhere, if you have Taurus placements, if you have Taurus on an angle, if you have, you know, if Venus is key in your chart. What is it? Does it happen right around 20? I think it happens at 21 or 22 degrees. So anything that you have within those early 20-degree marks, anywhere around the chart, those are going to be activated. This right here, like, this makes me feel like where we're at, and this makes me feel like where we're going with this conjunction that we have of Jupiter and Uranus. As Jupiter gets closer to Uranus, we're going to come into this, like, luck and abundance, and, like, these huge, just like structural breakthroughs that are going to come through some way. Melissa, thank you for asking me to pull the card, because this just makes me want to smile. It really does. It just makes me want to smile. Oh, that's great. Okay, so shall we get into our meditation here, huh? One last look at the intention there. Revolution allows space for inventive creation. Revolution allows space for inventive creation. We've had, I was looking back at our past intentions that we've had over the last, like, 4 weeks, including this week, so like the last month or so, and the progression of them, I don't know, it just feels like they play off of each other, and I don't look at last week's intention and try to, like, create, like, the next step or, like, something that plays off of that or rolls forward with it necessarily. Like, I look at each week individually, but I just want to read the intentions that we've had in the last few weeks, because they just feel like they're all leading up to something, and maybe they're all leading up to where we're going now. So starting back, I'm going to read 4 intentions, and I'm going to start with the oldest one. So we're starting 4 weeks back from where we are now. Okay? So first, I find benefit in the spaces in between. I find benefit in the spaces in between. That was just before Pluto moved into the sign of Aquarius. Fresh awareness taps into influential energy. Fresh awareness taps into influential energy. We had some sign changes that week. Invigorating motivations awaken. We started talking about Uranus last week in that intention. Uranus and Mercury. Invigorating motivations awaken. Now, revolution allows space for inventive creation. Revolution allows space for inventive creation. I just thought that was a nice little sequence, and maybe you would think so too, because I kind of thought so as I was thinking of them. Up on the table here this week, I have lots of white, because I think when we have Uranus, you know, like I was talking about mindfulness, I think lots of clarity, lots of purity, and lots of just making sure we're going in the direction that we really want to go to. Make sure we're not just like breaking through just for the sake of breaking through and breaking away from something and doing something against something we wouldn't normally do just for the fact of breaking through. Like, make sure it's not something we're going to regret later on, that type of thing. So I have lots of white, lots of clarity, lots of clarity. I have different clear quartzes. I'm not exactly sure what kind of quartz this is, but it's very, very purifying. And then I have a little celestial light here. So one of my favorite crystals for tapping into the angelic realm and talking to to our guides and those that are aiding us from the other side. So I just thought these were things that would be really good for us to have this week as we go forward with this, like, super confident, not always super confident, there can be some anxiety mixed in there, but like this just like pushing, breaking through forward energy here. Okay, so we're at with that. I'm going to start by cultivating a little energy here with my hands. Feel free to do so if you'd like to, or not. Find your comfortable position, and we will light our intentional candle. As always, the intentional candle is white as well. Same reasons. Clarity, purity, purification. When we use white, it's something that you can change into any color you want it to be. So wherever that breakthrough is for you, if it's in a certain, maybe it aligns with a certain chakra within your body, or a certain color, a certain smell kind of resonates with it or something, you can take that intention and those thoughts and those feelings, and you can put them in this candle that is in front of me, or the candle that is in front of you if you have one, because if you have one, I totally encourage you to grab that too. So as we go from this Ten of Swords to the Queen of Cups energy here, let's settle into our space. Let's start with a nice big deep breath to center ourselves. Deep breath in. Release. Start by taking a moment to check in with yourself. Take just a moment to notice how the condition of your breath is at this very moment. Notice the level of energy you are approaching this meditation with. And just spend a moment there. A moment honoring everything that has brought you to this very, very moment. Everything that has lifted you up. Everything that may have inhibited you slightly. Now, as you slowly start to deepen your breath, making each inhale slightly longer than the one before it, each exhale releasing a little bit more than the one before that, connecting to our breath, place of power and a place of connection. Our breath is a place of connection to both our physical and our energetic bodies, as well as connecting us to our own selves, as well as those within the energetic field that support us as well. I now encourage you to take a moment to focus on some area of your life, some aspect of your current circumstance and condition where you feel a breakthrough is needed? Where are you looking to push through from the norms? Where are you looking to break away from something that has held you down? Perhaps you consider the house where Taurus falls within your own chart. You look for clues within the planets that lie in your own natal Taurus. And if there's no planets there, that's okay. If you don't know where Taurus lies, that's okay too. Within your heart and your soul, you know exactly where Uranus is working within your own life. I want you to now take this focus of yours, and as we continue to intently focus on it, I want you to picture how this thing, this focus, this circumstance, or this, whatever this thing is, how has this typically went or processed itself? What is the typical, previously normed circumstance that surrounds this focus? What emotions comes up when you focus on this? If it's not a great feeling, it's okay. We're not going to stay here for long. Uranus is a planet that makes us want to move because it makes us uncomfortable. It makes us no longer want to stay in this space, a space of chaos, perhaps confusion. Feelings of anxiety and wanting to move away from that focus. Your feelings are valid. Now we shift our focus. Now we shift our focus to the breakthrough that's at hand. How can Venus make this Uranian focus better? What can bring in peace and tranquility? What can bring us harmony and balance and love and understanding? I vividly see this focus playing out exactly as you desire it to be. Visually see yourself within this focus, moving from the expression of the Ten of Swords to the expression of the Queen of Cups, moving up to this high energetic level of moving forward and breaking through. Starting a new cycle. As the new moon comes through in the sign of Aquarius, what higher ideal are you searching for? What light are you reaching for? Where is your intellectual creativity that allows you to break forward into some sort of newness and create something within this upcoming lunar cycle? There may be a lot of struggle within right now, but there is just as much power within. And in closing this meditation, let's collectively together take a couple deep breaths in and out. But in order to reach that power, in order to reach that creative energy within you, I want you to strive to hear your inhales and your exhales. On the first one, whatever that means to you. Try to audibly hear your inhale, audibly hear your exhale, allowing you to feel and tap into that energy. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Again, breathing in loudly. Breathing out powerfully. This time, see if you can breathe in and out through your nose. One more time, tapping into that Ujjayi breath that we spoke of a couple weeks ago. And one more in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Loudest, biggest exhale you've taken all day. This week, we go forward with an energy of change, an energy of breakthrough, an energy of moving up and out. It may be encouraging, it may be scary, it may be both at the same time. But with a little mindfulness and clarity of the mind, we can break through some serious boundaries this week, and honestly through this entire next lunar cycle. If you set intentions for the new moon, this Venus-Uranus energy and this Sun-Uranus energy are very much there for you to play with. Just like we play with the energies of the sky for this intention, you can do the same thing for the new moon. You play with the energies that are around us. So think about where Aquarius is within your own chart, and think about what kind of breakthroughs you can pull through there in the next month. Think about where Taurus is in your chart. Think about what kind of breakthroughs you can pull through there, because chances are there is something that is needed there, since that's where Uranus has been sitting. And you know, as we come closer to April, where we have the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus, all of these Uranian aspects are going to be leading up to that. The Jupiter aspects that we have too, but these Uranian aspects are all leading up to something. And pull out our cards that we pulled here one more time. Again, thank you, Melissa, for encouraging me to do so. We started here with the Ten of Swords. All of this that you've been through, there is a cycle that is completing. There is something that is changing within you. and it's going to bring you with the work you put in to the Queen of Cups, to the Queen of Water, to the Queen of Emotion, to the Queen of Collective Connection. I just love that. If anybody is wondering if I forgot to press play on the music, I did not. I just, last minute felt like we should do something different there, and it just at the last minute felt like I needed to allow all of us to fully focus on the thing, focus on the focus. So that's what that was all about. New Intention will be out next Sunday, and Happy New Moon. Happy New Moon in the sign of Aquarius. I'll see you all next week. Reach out at any time, as always. And healing this week, okay? There is collective healing that needs to happen for all of us, personally and collectively. So, going forward with that, thank you, all of you, for being here, as always, and I appreciate you. So, have a good night. Like I said, reach out anytime.